Welcome back to FM Storey. We're about to begin season 7 of our Athletic Club Save. During the summer, we've seen a couple of pretty big departures. One very expected, one came with a massive shock. So let's get started. Before we do get started, if you do enjoy the video, please like, comment, subscribe. And without further ado, let's get going. So we've made it through the summer and we're approaching the start of the new season. We've got a particularly tough start to the season, as you can see from the fixture tab on the right hand side there. We start away at Barcelona, follow that up with Real Sociedad, and then we're away to Real Madrid. So we've got Barcelona and Real Madrid away in the first 3 games of the season, and then we've got a home game against Sevilla, hot on the heels of that. Obviously there'll be the Champions League games to fit in as well. As we said before, we had a couple of big departures in the summer. One was a lot more foreseen than the other, in that we knew sort of midway through last season that Antoine Griezmann was going to retire, but then Ike Muniain announced he was going to retire about a fortnight before he actually did. We wanted to go out on a high, which means we're probably going to end up with a lack of experience at the top end of the pitch. But we did bring in someone to try and replace Antoine Griezmann sort of positionally in terms of the centre forward and right side player that can play there, and we signed Jose Herrero from Osasuna, who can play that up front or play on the right, more a centre forward than a right sided player, but we've got plenty of players that can play there. As far as replacing Muniain, we're going to probably have to look at the likes of John Guerrero, who pretty much replaced him in that number 10 role, and then you've got Danny Rodriguez back from loan, and we've got the young players coming in as well. In terms of the outgoings, the only one we really got rid of was Inaki Zabala, who hadn't really shown an awful lot of promise in the Bilbao Athletic side, but we managed to get 500k for him as his contract was running out. So it was money for someone who we weren't going to play and probably weren't going to renew the contract for. Other than that, we've sent some players out on loan. In terms of the squad, it is a very young squad. We've only got 3 players over the age of 30 in the squad, in Kepa, Robin Lenormand and Inaki Williams. So we may have a few issues. Particularly the front end of the pitch, we've got an awful lot of young players. The likes of Unai Ribeiro, Jose Herrero, Aranga, Jarigi, and then obviously you've got Vallejo and Maturana, who have come out in the youth intake in the last couple of seasons as well. So hopefully they can all kind of play a part at some point this season. But yeah, it's going to be... John Guerrero's kind of established himself in the team, so is Nico Serrano. Nico Williams is going to be a key figure for us this season if we're going to do anything at all. And Sunset has really kind of developed in that position. We're probably going to play Gillam on at right back. And then play Zubimendi and Sunset in the 2 defensive midfield roles. In terms of the season preview, we're predicted to finish 5th. We have finished 3rd in every season but 1 so far. Atletico obviously had a terrible season last season. They finished mid-table. They're expected to bounce back this season. Real Madrid have won the title every season so far. I thought the odds on them would be a bit shorter, and actually looking at the team, they've only got 5 of the media dream 11 and Barcelona have got 6. But obviously Real Madrid are going to be the favourites going into that. In terms of the predicted lineup for ourselves, they've got it pretty much spot on, apart from probably the only difference would be Nico Williams probably playing through the middle, but he might actually play from the right, and Aranga might play through the middle as well. It depends on how things go. I think Nico Williams probably playing through the middle would be the preferred option, because I think otherwise we might struggle a bit for goals. But we'll just have to see how the season starts and how the season goes. In terms of the club vision, so the board are expecting us to be competitive in the Champions League, to qualify for the Europa League, to challenge for the Copa del Rey, and to be competitive in the Supercopa. And then the supporters are looking for us to finish above Sociedad and for us to qualify for the Europa League. So we've qualified for the Champions League in every season but 1. In terms of the board and the Copa del Rey, normally they're asking us to be the latter stages of the competition. But this season, they're actually asking us to challenge for it. So that's one up on what we normally have. Going into this game against Barcelona, we're going to go with what we sort of said. We're going to go with Gilliman at right back, with Zubimendi and Sunset in front of the back four, Nico Williams from the right. I'm going to start Uranga through the middle. The front four really could be, there's so many options that we don't really know quite who is going to feature there. It might be a case of really rotating that. But obviously we'll see as the season goes on. Obviously, we've gone with slightly more experienced lineup than we could have done, especially given what we've got in these first 3 games in particular. If we can get off to a decent start to the away game, so hopefully we can still keep things tight like we did last season. Although the last time we played in Barcelona, we were 2-0 up and then threw that away late on in the second half. It's a slight concern that the left back was caught so far up the pitch there. That could have been a lot worse. Corner. We do actually have a slightly bigger team in the last season or two. So we're a bit better to deal with set pieces, but I'm sure that's not offside. But quite how we managed to squeeze it through, I don't know. So we dealt with the initial set pieces fairly well. We got away with that one. Right, we've really not. After that first couple of minutes, we've really not started this game very well. I mean, we could be quite seriously 4-0 down at this point. Come on. Not at the races at all. Even when we do get the ball back, we just give it away straight away. Oh, this is not the start to the season that we need, given that first run of games. I mean, that was atrocious, and to be honest, given some of the chances that they wasted, we should be 6 down at half time there. Absolutely abysmal. Right, so we've made a few changes at half time. We've stuck Nico Williams through the middle, brought Inaki Williams on, brought Vallejo on, and brought Unai Ibanez on. And there we go, 4-0 down. That's not exactly the best start to the second half. Oh. No. Surely that's not offside. Right, that's better. Nico Williams. Oh! Vallejo definitely makes things happen when he comes off the bench. You look at the scoreline, and they blew us out of the water in the first half. You look at the match stats, and it looks pretty even. But, I mean, we did get a massive spike in the XG for the actual goal. But we were never in that game. 4-1 defeat on the first day of the season really is not how I'd like to go into games against Sociedad and Real Madrid. So the start of the season has been a bit so-so. We're coming towards the end of September. We've got one game left in September, which is the second of the Champions League games. The first one we played Man United, and basically we were very poor in the first half, but played much better in the second half, and the subs that came on made a bit of a difference, and Unai Jimenez was able to pick up a goal, but we couldn't push on and get an equaliser. Since the Barcelona game in the league, we played Sociedad at home and beat them. It was a fairly comfortable game. We had a lot more chances than we actually took. You know what I mean? We really did control the game. The Real Madrid game was very, very similar to the Barcelona game, except we'd managed to pull a goal back to make it 2-1 and thought we were back in the game. And then they soon after went up the other end to get a third, and then got a fourth as we were trying to get back into the game. We have played probably our two toughest games of the season, away at Barcelona, away at Real Madrid. We got them out of the way in the first three games of the season, so this position in the league's slightly false in a sense, in that we've had two games that no one would expect us to win. Following up from the Real Madrid game, we played Sevilla and won 3-2. We were pretty comfortable. In fact, the goal that they got 5 minutes from time was a lovely individual goal, as he danced through half of our team to score, but we never really looked like we were in any real danger of actually losing the game. Malaga, we absolutely hammered them. We were 5-0 up at half time, just controlled the game, didn't give them a sniff. So much so that they actually sacked the manager as soon as that game finished. And then the last game against Rayo Vallecano, we had chances, particularly in the second half, to get back on level terms, but just couldn't take them and ended up losing 1-0. And I think we've lost 5 out of 6 now in all competitions against Rayo Vallecano, so they're becoming a bit of a bogey side. Hopefully we can bounce back with with this game in the Champions League. After that, we've got a fairly decent run sort of through October in the league. So hopefully we can get back on terms, because we are currently sat 12th in the table. After playing 6 games, we've won 3, lost 3, 9 points. Villarreal, rather surprisingly, are top, but they've played a game more than Real Madrid and Barcelona. But really, we could do with really turning that form around. Nico Williams is top scorer in the league so far, but obviously it hasn't translated into wins. Going into the game against Salzburg, we've got a couple of players out. Guillermon's been out for quite a while. He's just about back in training, and Javi Lopez picked up an injury in the game against Vallecano, so he's out as well. So we've got Sola at right back, we've got Ibanez at left back. We have made a bit of a change in that we've swapped Nico Serrano from the right to the left, and we brought in Daniel Rodriguez to play on the right. We've actually played Salzburg twice in the Champions League so far in the save. We won the first game 1-0, and we won the second game 5-4. I would much rather a 1-0 than a 5-4 in this game, but we'll take any victory we can get. And it's still going. Right, get the ball across. And having slagged him off for not hitting the target often enough, he's popped up with a goal. I think it did take a massive deflection from or at least it looked like it did. Pulls the ball back. No. I mean, it was pretty much straight at the goalkeeper, though. That's a better ball. Oh! It feels like we've hit the woodwork so many times this season. Yeah, lovely. I'm not quite sure why the left back was there, but the left back was the one that was attacking the box from the centre of the edge of the penalty area. Lovely finish though by Ibanez. Overall, decent first half. I mean, we've dominated that first half. At least we managed to pick up a couple of goals because it did look like we were going to just miss every chance that came our way. We just need to be solid in the second half. I think probably what we'll do is we'll bring Nick Serrano off at half time just because that yellow card and he hasn't played very well. But other than that, I think we'll keep it the same and see what we can do in the second half. And we've managed to give the ball away. You can see that one coming from a mile away. That should have gone. I mean, well, Danny Rodriguez at 5'4" is not going to win that, is he? But he's going to win that one. Oh! A lovely own goal. Dallied on it. He nicked in. Best bit is I don't think that was actually going to go to Nico Williams in the middle. I think had it not come off that defender, the other defender was the one that was going to clear it. Right. Flick it to Vallejo. Lovely ball. I mean, surely that was an own goal as well. Because I'm not sure that was actually a shot. So he cuts inside. Given where the goalkeeper was diving, I'm not sure that was on target. But, do you know what? It doesn't really matter who scores them as long as we score them. Definitely a good win. Back on track. I mean, only 7 shots on target from 26. Slightly disappointing. But, I mean, we scored... Well, I suppose one of them was an own goal. We scored 3 out of the 7. Alex Sola with a brilliant performance from right back. In fact, the whole of the back four did pretty well. Only a couple of players that came off early on that really didn't perform. But overall, we'll take that and hopefully we can build on that going into October. And that's the end of this episode. Join us next time to see if that result can force a good run of form in the league.